Hello. The IS-7 is one of the oldest tech tree lines in the entire game, and it is also one of the first lines people usually tell new players to go down if they want to learn about heavy tanks. This line has been a staple in World of Tanks for many years, and in this video we're going to go from the tier 5 all the way up to the tier 10 to show you how they perform. We start out with the KV-1. This thing is just beautiful, and honestly this is one of the reasons why people recommend to go down this line is because it starts out so well. With the current setup that I have, which is what I recommend most people to use, we have hardening, turbo and rammer. This then allows me to have nearly 2,400 DPM, you have 160 alpha damage with a 4-second reload. However, you do have a 2.6 second aim time, so you do need to be careful about that. The accuracy is also more than good enough at 0.38. The penetration for the standard rounds is 120. If we were to use the premium rounds, which is APCR, you have 161. This should allow you to pen pretty much everybody you meet, apart from some tier 7s. With the hardening, you do get 910 hit points. If we were to move that, by default you get 840. The mobility isn't good by any means, especially considering we are using a turbo. If we were to remove that, yeah, you only got 34 with 10 power to weight. And view engine concealment is what you would expect for a heavy tank. Now, you may look at this and say, Max, that is not very good armor. And you'll be correct, because this is not how you should really be playing the KV-1. The whole idea of this tank is to teach you how to angle your armor. Because when you do angle your armor, you have very good side armor. This tank is a perfect tank to teach you how to side scrape in World of Tanks. And if you don't know what side scraping is, it's basically creating an angle where it's an auto ricochet off the side armor. If you block off this part of the tank and you only see this bit, you can then bait enemies into shooting your side armor, bouncing, you then go around the corner, put one into them, and then go back behind cover. It is a very useful thing to learn in World of Tanks, and this tank will teach you it. Not to mention, this is actually very strong side armor. 75 millimeters, some tier 10s don't even have that. But yes, if you are looking at this tank head on, you can pretty much pen it every single time in the hole. Just be careful of the lower plate, because that is basically an auto ricochet. And if you want to go through the turret, you're looking at around about 110-ish to go through this. It's really not very well armored. Okay, is there anybody that would like to try and cross? Yes, there is. I'm pretty sure from this angle we'll have a little bit better shots. I mean, even if we can't shoot the corner as well, thing is, lots of people might come from this angle. Like the M8, actually, he's trying to go back up. Yep, time to cross. We controlled the castle area, which is really good, so we can now just go and side scrape on this corner. P6 medium, are you using the derp gun? You are. Okay. Just side scrape. At this tier as well, people don't really understand side scraping. Or at least the majority of people that you meet won't understand it. Of course he manages to hit that though. Okay, we cannot sit here. I'm a bit worried that the AR-MT is all the way at the back here, so you can just snipe across as well. He's right there, actually. He should still be around here. I think I was aiming way too high, first off. Okay, maybe we get blind, who knows. These have actually moved out, so I should be able to side scrape again. I know the artillery is still going to just pepper me all the time, but there's not too much I can do about that, if I'm honest. He's actually tracked there. I mean, I'm now tracked here. I'm just cautious of the fact that I only have 265 hit points left. Nice. Very nice. Sharing out the hit points, what we'd like to see. Now we just wait, because everybody else should be at the back over here. So we can just chill right here. Just wait a second. Then we're unspotted, so we can then move forwards a little bit, get into a better position to be able to shoot people, and we just prepare. I mean, it's still the Hetzer, the Stug 3G, SU-85I, all of them are pretty annoying. They'll actually be very annoying to spot as well. There is the Stug. Nice. We can get the tracking on that. Go on, little M10. I believe in you. Oh. He is getting shot, so I'm pretty sure that's not the person that shot him, though. We win by capping anyway. We do have some blinds. 2.2k. Very big. Apply. We now move on to the KV-1s. I mean, the KV-1S. We are still going to be using the same loadout with hardening, turbo, and rammer, and obviously we are now at tier 6, so we can put the hardening in the correct slot. The KV-1S does get a DPM increase to nearly 2,600, but the alpha damage is exactly the same as the KV-1. However, your standard penetration is now up to 150, and if you're using APCR, you get 196. You also have your aim time and your dispersion being better. The hit points are at 1,250, but that is with hardening, so if we remove that, it's 1,140. However, the big benefit of this this vehicle is that you now have more mobility at the sacrifice for some armor. You now go at 47 kilometers an hour top speed with a turbo and 14.5 power to weight. If you were to remove the turbo, 43 top speed with 13.5 power to weight. And once again, camera and view range of a heavy tank. Now, as you would have heard me say in the mobility part, the KV-1S sacrifices some armor for that mobility increase. Now, on the hull armor, you're not really going to notice much of a difference because it's very, very similar to the KV-1. Remember, you're a tier above now, so this is technically even worse. Pretty much every single person that you meet will pen you in the hull armor, no issues at all. But the turret is really where you start to lose some of that armor. Not only do you have a massive cupola, but if they just shoot near the gun, they'll probably pen. You do, however, still have the side scraping potential. It is 15mm less armor than the KV-1, but it is still very, very good and very, very strong. So everything that you've just learned in the KV-1 regarding the side scraping, you can use here. Oh, hello. I'm a KV-1S. Pleased to meet you. Oh, hello. Yeah. You would like a little bit of the KV-1S experience as well, would you? And you? Okay. Yep. Don't worry. There's plenty to go around. It's all good. What on earth is happening right now? I would like to try and side scrape here if I'm honest. I don't know why this guy is saying thank you. Like, I'm here killing them. I don't know what more he wants from me. I cannot peek this though, because my turret isn't that good. And I don't really want to lose loads and loads of hit points for no reason. The VK is still peeking. I might go and try and kill the Churchill 7. Churchill 7? Churchill 3. Hello? Of course you knock out the gun. Okay, this is not a bad start actually to this game. I am a little bit worried that the game could suddenly snowball into our team's favor, and we won't get anything more out of it. So, I am aware of this. Although this VK, are you pushing? You are. Hello. I'm going to track him, and then I can finish him off maybe? No, unlucky. But we can then do a little bit more aggression onto this, and maybe try and kill him in a second. The AMX is over there. That's absolutely fine. We can just overpick this, kill the VK, then put one into this Wolverine in a second. That was not a great shot by me. Let's just keep going. Keep going. That's all we need to do. As I said, like the game is fully snowballing now. So the T-78 and the M10 are probably just chilling at the back. Just need a little bit more damage. And maybe it should be a mastery, hopefully. Probably another kill actually as well. T-78 is probably over here in this corner. Although I am not spotted. So the T-78 just killed someone over there. He's actually all the way down the other side of the map. And the second game already that we win by capping. That's actually only a second class? Really? What is it to free mark one of these things? 1.4. If I had got another kill or 2 more kills, it would have been fine. But we didn't get enough kills in this game. Anyway, apply. At tier 7 with the IS, this is where the line truly forms into its own and you get that 122mm gun. Once again, using the exact same setup as we always have been, we have now gone down in the DPM to 2,355. However, the alpha damage is now up to 390 and your standard penetration is 175. And your premium rounds being 217 APCR. However, there is a bit of a drawback because now you have a 3-second aim time and 0.41 dispersion. But that really doesn't matter because this gun will just hit whatever it feels like. You have 1,400 hit points, obviously without hardening, that then goes down to 1,270. Your mobility is more like the KV-1 with 38 km/h top speed, but you do get decent power to weight at 16. This is obviously using a turbo, so without the turbo, 34 and 15. And the view engine concealment, say it with me, what you would expect for a heavy tank. Now, as you would have probably expected, considering we have a mobility nerf, the armor has increased. But you see, the armor has increased, sure, but it is still very, very easy to kill one of these things. You have a big old cupola on top of the tank, the middle of the tank is always a pen, and the lower plate is very, very easy to pen. Not to mention that either side of the gun, including the gun mantlet, is only about 100mm thick. And you can't actually side scrape in this vehicle because when you do, you then expose this part of the tank, which then becomes very weak. So it technically does have more armor, sure, but not really. Now, you can potentially go and reverse side scrape in this tank. That is a possibility, but you do also have to watch out for this on the side skirts going over the track. I think as long as you understand the weaknesses of your vehicle, you can then work around that. I think that's one of the best things that you can take away from this is that if you know that you don't have armor in a certain area, don't expect it to bounce. Try and reverse side scrape when you can, and don't peek when you don't need to. Do we go to the city or do we go to the valley? I think we're going to go to the valley. I don't really have lots of gun depression, but we'll see how this goes. I mean, I'm hoping that there's more people over this side. Well, there's definitely people there. Maybe I can actually get an angle to shoot this. It's just quite awkward to actually play like with this like frontally. Like reverse side scraping is okay. To actually play with your whole like front hull facing them is quite annoying because of the way it's shaped. I know for a fact that this guy won't have gun depression. From that, if I go up, then yes, he can shoot me. But from here, he shouldn't be able to hit me. There we go. If they keep overpeaking like this is great. Not if they keep hitting that though. Do I get another shot into his cupola? Yes, I do. Be low roll though, which is quite bad. There we go. Now, the SU-100 is at the very back of the map, which is a problem. There's also the Govika and everything else. Like, I can't peek this. I can't, like, over-peek it to have a look. My turret armor isn't that strong. I'm hoping the SU has looked away. Doubt it. But you never know. I don't think we penned the T-150 from that angle. He's on 938 health last time he was spotted. The SU has looked away. Oh, we did actually hit him. And now we can just overpush this and the game's over. I don't know who's heavier, me or the VK. Nice. And then we just go up here and we can just shoot down onto them. Even with limited gun depression, this is fine. Like, we just overpeak it. It won't make any difference. They're not even looking at us. More damage. Lovely. And we just continue. And our favourite thing to do is killing the artillery, but will we be able to kill the artillery? Oh. Yes! Very, very good. Excellent. 7 kills. Not bad. We nearly killed the entirety of the valley. 3,607 kills with 1,000 assists. Apply. The IS-3... Listen, I had a very bad time with this tank. I love the IS-3, but my god, is this gun abysmal sometimes. Since we're now at tier 8, you can put V-Stab on this tank. And if you are somehow playing without V-Stab on the IS-3, I don't know how. Hardening, Rammer, and V-Stab is my choice for the equipment, and even then, the gun still doesn't do what you want it to do. Your DPM is now down from what you've just played on the IS at nearly 2,200 DPM, and your alpha damage remains exactly the same. Your penetration has increased to 225, and with premium rounds, that goes up to 265. However, the aim time is absolutely appalling, and the dispersion says 0.35. I don't believe it though. Let me just say, in the games you're going to witness, you are going to see some spectacular scenes with the IS-3. On the plus side, you do get 1,700 hit points with hardening. If you remove the hardening, 1,550. We do go at 38 kilometers an hour with 14 power to weight, and we don't have a turbo, so this is actually pretty decent. The camo and view range for this vehicle... Now, for the armor layout of the IS-3, you may look at this and say, Max, what on earth is going on here? This looks worse than the IS. Now, 1, this is obviously because we have higher standard pen, but 2, it's also because the hull armor is awful. You see, this is 195 millimeters thick, but now that we're at tier 8, a lot of tanks have well over 200 pen as their standard rounds. Meaning that it doesn't matter if this is a pike nose design, which we're going to get onto in a second, it's still going to go through it. There are 2 plates here, but even then, for the most part, they'll still go through that as well. And even the lower plate is around about 200 millimeters thick. But there is also the other issue regarding the IS-3 because it is quite low profile. So pretty much everybody is actually going to be at this sort of angle when you come against them, and it makes it even easier to go and pen this. And the keen-eyed monks you would have also noticed there's an overmatch on top of the roof. And this is 20 millimeters thick, meaning that anything greater than 60 caliber gun will go straight through you. And yes, for the most part, this is a very, very easy shot to hit. Now, I want to briefly touch on the pike nose design because it is very, very prominent in this tank line. For those of you that are unaware, you'll notice that the IS-3 sort of goes inwards towards the center. This is called the pike nose. It is way more prominent on the 257, which we're going to see in a second at tier 9, and even more so on the IS-7 at tier 10. This, in theory, makes it very, very hard for the enemy to pen you if you are frontally facing them directly head on. However, for the IS-3's case, it doesn't really have enough armor for its tier, so you're more reliant on going hull down than anything else. Also, because of the pike nose design, when you do try and side scrape, this becomes insanely easy to pen, because this then becomes very, very flat for you to be able to hit. Now, I'm not saying that it is impossible to side scrape, because you definitely can. Like, this is very, very hard to pen. There's no overmatches here because that is 90 millimeters of side armor, even on the underneath bit. However, if they do see you side scraping, they will just pen there instead. The IS-3 excels at bullying low tiers rather than its own tier. This is against a 45 TP, and as you'll see, it's like a 50-50 at the top, and as you move down, you do obviously have these plates that are in the way, but for the most part, they can pen around here. And if the IS-3 was fully hold down using all the gun depression, then yeah, it has no chance with standard rounds. Even with premium, they're going to struggle still. But yeah, against something like a Liberté, good luck! Hello, Carnarvon. Oh, see? Power of reverse side scraping. They just won't pen it. XM is actually using me as a hold down. That is not how you side scrape. Nice. IS-22 receives one. I don't know what that was. Yeah, just throw away your XM57. Don't worry about it. I think it's time to go to premium ammo in a second. The M4Y is going to be a bit of an issue. Unless I can maybe see his capo... Please, gun! Please! Oh, I don't even know what is happening now. I mean, we've just lost this game. The gun doesn't work this game. It actually doesn't work. That's unreal. The gun refuses to do damage. It did 2 shots and then went, yep, that's enough. Ha! Okay, I believe. Oh, maybe we can shoot someone that's crossing. Oh, hello. It's alright, we'll just forever wait here until something happens. What on earth is going on here? I mean, we had to be quite quick with that. Where is the enemy team? Hi. Oh! Thank you. I need to start saying thank you after every single shot because honestly, this gun is horrific. I don't understand why there is nobody on the enemy team that's playing the game. Where are they? Maybe we can track this guy, actually. Not really. I actually do think, though, the IS-3 is absolutely fine, apart from the gun. The gun is awful. I mean, I might as well try it. It's no different from being fully aimed as it is to not aimed at all. What? I don't understand it. Hello. I'm just going to go and continue moving. Imagine this without stab. That's nightmare fuel. I really don't have gun depression. Oh, at least I get a bit more damage out of it. I don't want to play this tank anymore. I honestly think, after these 2 games, I've shown you enough of the IS-3. After the IS-3, you then move on to the 257, highly regarded in the community as one of the most noob-friendly tanks. And to a certain degree, they do have a point. On paper, this tank is really, really good. Once again, we are using hardening, turbo, and stab, and that will allow us to have 2,500 DPM. We now go up to 440 alpha damage, 248 standard pen, and 315 heat pen. That heat penetration is going to be very important in a second. You have a 10.5 second reload time, and you have 2.6 second aim time with 0.35 dispersion. So all looking pretty good on the gun front. You have 2,160 hit points with hardening. Without it, you go down to 1,960, and you have 50 top speed with 15 power to weight. We're not using turbo, remember. This is rapid. And then we have this. And when going ahead and looking at the armor, this is insane. This is why people say this tank is so noob friendly, because the armor is really, really strong. And then you look at the roof. Now, I'm sorry to any 257 drivers out there, because I am about to just absolutely ruin your day if someone has watched my video and they come against you next time. If you are looking at a 257, do not even bother trying to shoot the lower plate or anywhere else on the vehicle. Just shoot the roof. It is sloped downwards, which means that even if it's using all its gun depression, you can still hit it. And the best way of doing this is just to aim at the cupola, because if you go a bit low, the chances are you're going to go and overmatch it. If you're on flat ground, there's no contest. The 257 shouldn't have any armor, because you can go through the roof every single time. It is only 30 millimeters thick, which means anything greater than a 90 caliber gun will go through it. And now that we're at tier 9, that's pretty much every tank you're going to meet. I will say, the pike nose on this tank is way more prominent. If you are a bit confused about how the pike nose works from the IS-3, this one will really show you. As you'll see, this is very, very well armored until you try and side scrape, because then this becomes flat and everyone can hit it. So again, with the 257, you cannot side scrape. You can't really reverse side scrape either, because this is very large. It has a very big bottom. But what you can do with the 257 which people really, really hate, is just go side on. You may look at this and say, Max, but they're just going to pen this. No, they won't. They're going to aim here, because that is where most people aim. If we look at the visual model, you're going to aim around about here to just go straight through this. That's a ricochet. The only way that you're penning a 257 is by going up and aiming at the log, at least if you're on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, it doesn't have one. I mean, aim at the spade if you're on the left-hand side. Another thing I do also want to bring up is the fact that, yes, this tank says it goes at 50. Yeah, about that. If you have off-road driving brothers in arms along with food, you go at 48 kilometers an hour. You also only go at 39 on medium and soft, meaning that if you're on grass or in a swamp environment, you're going dramatically slower. So even though it says 50 and it has half decent power to weight, it's not really that fast. Now, I said earlier about the heat pen being only 315. This is because it is an anomaly in the entire Soviet tech tree. All the other tier 9 heavy tanks that have premium heat in the Soviet tech tree have 340 millimeters a pen. This goes for the T10, the ST1, and the 777. All of these, 340 pen. I'm not saying it's completely bad, but it is something that you need to be aware of. Well, I'm not going to go up north because that's just a waste of time. I am going to go down to... I mean, we're going to be sitting here regardless. Like, we're just going to be sitting at this corner until something happens. At least it's a tested map, so maybe we can push up later on. Hello, Borsuk. I mean, I hit him. I don't know if I penned him. I was not expecting the AMX 65T to suddenly just appear there. I mean, I wanted to get forwards to try and do some more damage and, you know, progress this battle a little bit. Yep, I know the ISU is going to be over there. There we go. But we're now in a better position to deal with this concept. Take some damage for it, but in return, we hopefully dig out the concept altogether. And the Type 63 did take a lot of damage for doing that peak. And the concept is now dead. We know the ISU-K is back here somewhere. We need to watch out for that. But now the Type 63 is dead, we can now just chill for a little bit, get unspotted, and see what happens. We can't really push their base, I don't think. Don't have gun depression. There is the ISU. This gun really doesn't feel good. I just can't rely on the gun past like 50 meters. It really doesn't feel confident. To be fair, we might actually be able to push their base, because they've pushed our base, so... Hello. Oh, he's dead anyway. I mean, Barask and the EBR should really struggle to actually pen us. Barask, friend, are you around here? I mean, if not, I'll happily take some artillery kills. I love how the gun hits that, though. Oh, artillery. What is my HE pen? 68. I don't know if that's enough, so I'm just going to stay with APCR. I'm purposely not going into the cap to try and, like, not make them think that I'm here. Now we just full send down here. Hello. Set him on fire. Lovely. I really don't enjoy playing this tank. And now you finally reached the top of the line. You're about to go and play the IS-7. Has it been worthwhile? We're now using Turbo Rammer Stab. The reason why, I'll explain in a moment. DPM is now up to 2,650 and you have 490 alpha damage. Along with that, you have 250 standard penetration with 303 APCR. Let me just explain. That is not good. You may think that is good, but that's actually less pen than what you're just playing with on the 257. The standard penetration as well as the premium penetration can really be a sticking point for the IS-7. 250, not really good enough as standard pen for a heavy tank at tier 10. And 303 APCR is incredibly low. Considering that most tanks have 320 to 340 heat and then 310 to maybe 320 APCR pen, 303 is severely lacking. And honestly, one of the reasons I don't necessarily recommend everybody goes and gets the IS-7 over the 277. We have an 11-second reload with a 2.6-second aim time and 0.35 dispersion. You have 2,480 hit points and we aren't using hardening. Your top speed is 63 kilometers an hour, which is why we're using the turbo. If we don't use the turbo, we go at 59. This thing is absolutely rapid, sort of. And with that turbo, you also have 19 power to weight. The armor layout of the IS-7 is fantastic. There's no other way of putting it. It is one of the best armor layouts in the game. This pike nose works. And if you get into a hold down environment, there isn't much that can actually pen you. As you'll see, this is very, very well armored. Yes, I did just find the one spot that says 1136. But on the whole, this is a very, very well armored tank, and even the Jagdpanzer 100 with heat rounds, there's only a few spots that you can actually pen. And if you're familiar with this at all, you know how insane this actually is. Once again though, you can't really side scrape, and remember, we have very, very low standard pen. Most people are going to be using premium rounds, and even 303, I can go directly through this. For the lower tiers, the lower plate can even be a very, very troll scenario to deal with. And you can reverse side scrape, but also it does stick out quite a bit. You do not have the same side armor though as the 257 does. When you do go side on in the IS-7, the chances are they'll probably pen. We now need to speak about mobility on the IS-7, probably its strongest asset overall. It goes at 59 kilometers an hour. It actually goes at 51. And if we use brothers in arms, off-road driving, and then food, you'll see that it goes at 55. We are never going to reach that top speed. Even if we go ahead and put a turbo on this tank, it goes at 59, not the 63 that it advertises. However, you need to go and get the field mod on the left-hand side, and then it will reach the top speed. As well as that, if you can then get the mobility slot, it's even better. The terrain resistances are so bad that even this field mod, the 7th one, doesn't really work. I only go at 66 when I now should be going at 68. And let's not forget that across soft and medium terrain, I'm only going at 50. So yes, the IS-7 is fast, but you really do need either turbo or grousers to fully max this out. And just for argument's sake, if we were to go ahead and use grousers, yeah, it goes at 59 and 53. You're a bit better on the medium, but you're not better on the hard. Which is why I don't bother with hardening on this tank, because I'm going to be using this left-hand field mod once I get it unlocked, and then the track health is useless. Ooh. Are they pushing up? Oh, watch this. I should have really just aimed for a little pyramid on top of his tank. Yes, Rhino, it is time. I don't think this is a good idea, pushing this. We can't actually push this. He's just going to run off there. Yeah, we can't push that. We need to run away, go back around, try and kill the E100. We will go to APCR now, though. When the Progetto being in our base doesn't spark confidence, does it? Oh, excellent. I want to try and, like, you know, not get hit by him, if I can do that, but... Alright, you can finish that. I better make sure. He has 395 heat, and he cannot pen an E100. We'll just move on. Oh, hello! Hut. Ow. Now we just hide from the griller. Should actually get some assistance as well. We finished the 261 off. That's not too bad. Oh, can we ram the 261? Here we go. Yes. Oh, yes. Hello. Beautiful. I wasn't trying to make the Foch 155 take the hit, by the way. I was trying to go in front of the Foch so that I can maybe bounce him. But the Foch wasn't letting me go in front without just outright me taking the hit. But still, it's good enough. I hope you enjoyed this tech tree showcase, and if you want more IS-7, go and watch this that's on the screen right now. See you later.